Brittany from YoungTri.com, and today I'm going to show you how to set up a triathlon transition area.
Play. Sir. Yeah. Yeah.
Kane is in the building.
Yeah. Already the show goes on all night.
So I already have my bike racked here, and for my transition area I always choose a really brightly colored towel. I have my bike racked on the transition bar, and my transition area I always choose a brightly colored towel because I always find it hard to find my stuff after the swim because there's so many people in the triathlon. So I set up my brightly colored towel right next to my bike, or if there's not a lot of space, I set it up in front of my bike. And so first thing I do is I always start with my helmet. So with my helmet, I put it face down in front because that's the first thing I'm going to grab when I get out of transition area. And I always have my glasses there too, faced up inside. And I always make sure that my helmet is unclasped and open right in front just so I don't forget it. Then I always have my sneakers in back of it, and if you use socks, put your socks in your sneakers just so they're easy to grab. And so I have my running sneakers, I always put in back, so that's the last thing I'm going to grab, with socks inside if you choose to use them. And then bike shoes, if you leave them out, put socks inside if you choose to use socks, and always leave them open so it's not hard to undo them. Some people choose to put them, to pre-clip them onto the pedals just for easy exit, and you should always have rubber bands so you can tie your shoes to your bike so that they don't slide on the ground, but I always put them in my transition area. So I leave them open. And facing toward me, where I would be standing in the transition area, and I leave them fully open. And on my towel. And I also leave my sneakers open, ready for the run, like this. But I always wear socks for the run, so I leave one sock in each shoe for a fast exit. The longer the race you do, the longer you should have in transition. I always try to leave transition in under 2 minutes for most races. Then I always have my water bottles. I usually leave one water bottle here. Well, for longer races I would have more water bottles, but I leave one in my bike because I drink a lot during the bike and run in my transition area just so I can squirt off any sand I might have on me and I can take a quick drink. So this will go in my bike. And then I have another pair of socks for that. And with me at the beginning of the race, but I don't usually put it in transition area, is my swim stuff. And a tri-suit here. I would put that on the morning before the race just so I'm ready for everything. And then my goggle and cap. Usually you get the swim cap from the race. This happens to be from the Red Bank Triathlon. So this is the last race I did. So they give it to you usually in your packet pickup, usually the night before the race or during the race. And I always bring goggles with me. I always bring 2 sets just in case something happens to them. And I usually just carry this around with me at the beginning of the race with my wetsuit on. And I also have my race belt. This is important because you need it for the run portion of the race and sometimes for the bike. You would put your number on the strap and close the strap, and usually I put it right over my run stuff because I sometimes forget it, so it's important that I remember it. And also, before the race, I always have, if permitting, I have a wetsuit that I would usually put on about 15 minutes or 10 minutes before race start and for warm-up. So my wetsuit. And when I'm done with the race, when I'm done with the swim portion, usually I would put either this on my transition area stuff on the side, Or sometimes if I have enough room, I usually lay it out on top of the bar where my bike is. And also sometimes for longer races, you have sports nutrition, so you can put it on. Sometimes for longer races, people like to stick it on the bike with tape, or you can leave some in your transition area to have while you're in transition. But a lot of people like to have it on their bike with them, or on their run if they have like a special belt with water and drinks if necessary. A lot of people do that. And usually I leave this with family or friends, my triathlon bag, and sometimes I leave it here just in case I have to make a repair on my bike or something last minute. I have a repair kit in that. So a lot of people like to set up their transition area in different ways, but for me this is the most useful and the fastest for my race. And my bike is set up on the bar, and I usually have one water bottle in that. So that's how I set up my transition area. For more tips and tricks, please visit youngtri.com.
Lay. What's up? Yeah.